So let's get it started. Let's see. There we go. Hope everyone's been doing well. OBS hasn't. Okay, never mind. Decided to behave. How is the volume for everybody? It seems fine for you guys, but it's quiet for me. I think I have to increase my volume a little bit. Here we go. Alright, so last time we left off in the midst of our investigation. We uncovered the true identity of what's his name? Grimesby Roylott. It's actually Nikolina Pavlova, the famous ballerina from Russia. I still don't know how he got this tan. Cosima. He was too young. Why did he have to leave us? He was on his way to London for a study tour when he was taken from this world. He was taken from me. Wait, you're 16? She's the epitome of a refined Japanese lady. This motherfucker's 34, grown-ass man acting like that. Cannot believe it. Alright, anyway, I think we investigated. Never mind, there's some stuff we haven't looked at yet. Let's see here. What have we not looked at? I'm pretty sure I looked at everything in this room already, but why? Why is everything highlighted as if I haven't looked at it yet? It would seem this teapot is empty. So the natural conclusion is that the Russians are very thirsty people. Oh, okay, this is new dialogue. Or because Miss Pavlova only came into this cabin last night, she hasn't had the chance to make any tea yet? I mean, it could be either. It's definitely that they're excessively thirsty. I'd lay 1,000 to 1 on it. You're rather obstinate, aren't you, Naruhodo-san? The Russians are very thirsty. Noted. What is this, a trash can? Where's the trash? I'm the trash man. That's my character. I suppose every cabin has a wastepaper basket. Shall we have a little look and see what's been thrown away? Naruhodo-san, it's poor etiquette to go sifting through someone's rubbish, you know? I feel like etiquette can be pushed aside in this situation, Cisato. Ugh, those eyes. She's looking at me like I'm a piece of rubbish now. However, these are special circumstances, I think. That's what I'm saying. Exactly, we have no choice. There's hardly anything in here at all. Well, so much for that. Oh, well, that's a little disappointing. Yeah, we went through all that effort of me clicking a few dialogue boxes. There were just a few books on the desk, nothing else by the looks of it. Well, Miss Pavlova only ran away from the ballet last night. She's hardly occupied this cabin for any time at all. That's true. I wonder what kind of book she likes to read. Let me see. Yes, I see. It would seem that Miss Pavlova enjoys reading. Wow, she's a master flipper. Books written in Russian. Very astute. Thanks. I think I probably already knew that. It's rude to ask too much of people, Naruhodo-san. Kindly remember that. I like these two. They have a fun dynamic. Oh my, Miss Pavlova's case is open. It's completely empty inside, but according to the great detective's great deduction, yeah, the one that I fixed for him, she was hiding her special friend in there, which is, my guess is a snake. Yes, a friend that she had to get kept secret, because you're not allowed to bring animals aboard the SS Buria. I mean, maybe the snake that they showed in the beginning of the episode in the little storybook section, maybe that's a red herring. But I can't really think of any other animal that could be described as a speckled band. A band? A band is like a ring, you know? What the fuck kind of animal can be shaped like a ring? Other than a snake. I wonder what kind of animal she had in there. More to the point. Where is it now? These books have fallen over the same way as they did in the other room. All the books have toppled over together. Look, every single one. Do you think that's a god of the sea, perhaps? He's toppled too, though. It's exactly the same as the bookcase next door. In Cosmo's cabin. Perhaps Miss Pavlova was practicing a difficult ballet pose and fell against the bookcase. I don't know. Would she really be practicing ballet on the same night she ran away from her own ballet company? All right then. It must have been you. You lost your temper and knocked them all over in a fit of rage. Why would I be in this room? Not everything bad that happens on the ship is because of me, you know. Well, anyway, I set them all straight again in here too. I don't like seeing things in disarray. You're tampering with the crime scene. Stop. No. Dude, but that statue is stanced up. Who the hell is this guy? He's spreading wide. Ah, yes. They're displayed in the cabin too. In this cabin too. Look, SS Buria's rules of passage. Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in their cabins. Pets are also strictly forbidden. I suppose Miss Pavlova realized she needed to keep the contents of her case a secret after she read this. Her special friend, I mean. I wonder where her friend has disappeared to now. It's probably having fun exploring the ship, I imagine. I just hope Seaman Stroganoff doesn't find it and throw it overboard. Oh, yes, so do I. The lock. This one's not busted. This cabin door has the same simple sort of bolted latch that our cabin door has. The bolt's drawn across, there's no way anybody could enter the cabin from outside. Yes, it's not a particularly heavy-duty bolt, is it? Still, it wouldn't slide across of its own accord, would it? No, and the door's made of metal, so there's no chance of trickery using magnets to unbolt it from the outside. And it seals up perfectly, too, to stop any seawater coming in. So you couldn't use the method you told me of passing a thread through the crack around the closed door, either. I seem to know a lot of tricks for opening doors. I'm starting to see why they suspect me. Is this her clothes? Naruhodo-san, are you there? Sorry, I'm right here, yes. Why? Oh, good. I thought you might have climbed into the wardrobe when I wasn't looking. There's no place like home. I cannot believe. This girl. No chill. Believe me, I don't have some strange compulsion to jump into every wardrobe I see, you know? Well, anyway, I'm not sure anyone could fit inside this one. It's full of beautiful outfits. I suppose they're all stage costumes. I was rather hoping we might find Miss Pavlova's friend hiding in there, but no such luck. Nothing here? You have this pull tab thing. There's one of these next to the bed in Cosmo's cabin, too. Yes, it's a bell cord. I can't resist. Are we going to have a servant come in now? Because this is Pavlova's room? She barely hesitated there, and she gave it a good tug, too. No, I didn't actually expect anyone to come. We don't want them to. We're trying to investigate in secret. Oh, how disappointing. Alright. Sussy vent. So this ventilator connects to Cosmo's cabin next door. Yes, although what a fool a shipbuilder must be to open a ventilator into another room. Oh, maybe. It's so that if there's a gas leak next door, the occupant of this cabin would notice and raise the alarm. Or the occupants of both cabins would die of gas poisoning. That is a possibility. Anyway, last night, Cosmo wrote that he saw a speckled band coming out of this ventilator. A speckled band. Now, I think The Adventure of the Speckled Band was an actual Sherlock Holmes short story, right? So are all the episodes in this game going to be inspired by Sherlock Holmes stories? We'll see. We will see. Did we look at everything here? There's the bed. There's this. I wonder what this little saucer is doing on the floor. Yes, it doesn't look like it's been dropped. More like it was put there deliberately. Ah! Do you think there could be a leak in the roof just above here? What? A leak? No, it's for the pet. Is this ship quite safe? I'm sure that even if there's a little leak in the roof, it doesn't mean the whole ship is going to sink. No, you're right. Of course you're right. She's really trying to persuade herself, isn't she? Well, the game hasn't told me that I've investigated everything here. However, I don't really see anything else that I could be investigating. Doing a whole scan here. Nope. The bag is not investigatable for some reason. Wardrobe, pipe, yeah, I mean, that's all. I guess we move? What if we go back into here? There's only so much we can investigate, right? There's like... actually, what if we need to inspect something? There's this shit stain with the weird purple thing. This is all the evidence we have. The victim's neck was almost certainly broken. Right. So we know this. Miss Ballerina. Speckled band. Hosonaga, my boy. Ugh, poor guy. Still bruised. It does look like we've looked at everything here. Why did she have to rearrange the books like that again? I already inspected that. Yep. Okay. So, what do I do then? Pavlova left because she was needed by the captain. Maybe we have to go find the captain? I'm like fairly certain that I still need to oh. Never mind. I know what I need to do. Oh, it's Mr. Sholmes, look. What the fuck are you doing, grown-ass man? Well, you never know where he's going to turn up next, do you? He seems to be stealing a look at something as he sings to himself. Sir? Tra-la-la-la-la-la-la, I did it the great detective way. He's still singing. Do you think he hasn't noticed us? Oh, he's simply in extremely high spirits. Yes, there were times, I'm sure you knew, when the yard bit off more than it could chew. And through it all, when there was doubt, it's lucky Herlock was about. Excuse me? I solved it all and I stood tall. I did it the great detective way. Mr. Sholmes! What is it? You want to fight? This fucking guy. This animation is also amazing. Honestly, interrupting a fellow when he's singing, and I was just about to reach the climactic finish. Sorry, I thought you were never going to stop, so I figured now is a good time as any. I very nearly dropped you to the floor with one of my famous right hooks. Alright, I get the picture. No, could you put those fists away? Dude, he's schmoovin'. Mr. Sholmes, you seem to be examining something before we interrupted you. Yes, that. I was immersed in the study of the ship's log as penned by the stockily built crewman who's usually on guard here. Stockily? Oh yes, the ship's log. And did you find out anything useful from it? Well, after 2 a.m. this morning, the majority of the not the entrees, I'm not that hungry. The majority of the entries are blank. Which means that there was nothing to report. Nothing of note happened, so... You truly are a student from the land of the rising sun. You've been utterly blinded by it. Sorry? Your logic, my boy, is inverted. Whatever do you mean, Mr. Sholmes? Observe the other pages and all shall become clear. Yes, if there's nothing to report, they have to write something, right? It would seem the same crewman stands sentry in the first-class passageway, and he has an almost religious practice of recording nothing to report every half hour. Oh, he writes that in every 30 minutes. Nothing to report? Precisely. Put simply, the seaman writes nothing to report when there is just that. And yet, the ship's log from last night is largely blank. He didn't even write nothing to report. Oh, no, that's Ryunosuke. Do you mean? Yes, there were circumstances afoot last night, which led to the seaman being absent from his post. Case of the missing seaman. What kind of circumstances? What happened? She's so excited by this guy. That remains a mystery for now, but we can be sure something significant took place. So significant that it caused the seaman to forget his regular habit of scribing nothing to report in the log. These are important details. I would stake my life on it. You must log the ship's log in your mental file. Got it. Now that deduction was worthy of a great detective. He's not completely useless. Surprised? Nothing report, nothing report, nothing report, nothing report. A blank from 2 to 5. Uh-huh. Damn, when does Beef Stroganoff get to sleep? Ah, so you're starting to understand what my way is. I see. What makes Sholmes Sholmes? Brilliance. Oh, ouch. What is it? Are you hurt? Oh, don't worry yourself. I seem to be afflicted with a throbbing head this morning for some reason. Nothing more. Wait, you too? Well, my friends, until our next encounter. And there he goes, still singing to himself. I can hear it as he wanders off down the passageway. Is something wrong, Susato-san? You seem lost in thought. It's just, well, I feel the same. Sorry? Ever since I woke this morning, I've had something of a headache. A sort of continuous throbbing. Oh, you too? Literally everyone on this boat. That's not true. But let's see, who said it so far? Hosonaga, I think. Now, Susato, Ryunosuke for sure, and Sholmes, sorry. I deeply apologize for messing up the name of the great detective. Interesting. Oh, the log is gone. Well, what the hell do we do now? That door leads to the second class area. It's locked. Can't open it. No, well, that stands to reason. No one wants to let the murderer escape. Gosh, she gave me a very stern look when she said that. Okay. There's nothing here? Really? I wonder if I can rebind the look around keys, because they are kind of awkward. PC config. No. Key config. There we go. Let's see. Are C and X bound? Doesn't look like they are. Ah. Let's see. Why are these like different keys? Look and rotate evidence. When am I ever gonna need both at the same time? Up, down, left, right. H, N, B, M? That's so awkward. Do we just live with it? No, it swaps the keys. Can't have it all. That's so weird. Well, I guess I'll just live with it. Where do we go now? Anybody in here? Oh, never mind. Ah, what's that? Uh-oh. Shut down the engines immediately. Vessel sighted a quarter-mile forward. Full stop, hard to starboard. All hands, brace for impact. What the? I think we're about to crash into another ship. What? I can't stand. Sato-san, hold on to me. Whoa! Holy shit. Sato-san, are you alright? Are you injured at all? I think I'm fine. Thank you, Naruhodo-san. Everything fell over again. Looks like we avoided a collision. I think... Yes, the ship has come to a stop. Oh my goodness, what about you, Naruhodo-san? Are you hurt? No, I'm fine. Hello, is anybody in there? Shout if you need assistance. Oh, that sounds like... Inspector Hosanaka. Is that you in there, Naruhodo-san? Unbolt the door, quickly. What? The bolt? Look at that. Door's bolted. Did you do that, Sato-san? No, I didn't touch it. Well, that's strange. How did... It might be gravity. Does you see how the books have fallen over on the left? Sasato arranged them all straight again. But then after the... Did it actually collide with another ship? Well, whatever happened after that, the stuff on the shelf, they fell over to how they were before. And so, judging by that, if the bolt is like kind of loose, it could easily slide left. Look at all the books. Just like they were before again. Naruhodo-san, aren't you going to open the door and let the inspector in? I better tidy this place up first. Our violent emergency stop had solved one mystery at least, in a very vivid way. But I knew that what awaited us on the other side of the cabin door would not be pleasant. Oh no. I hurried around tidying up the cabin with a new sense of foreboding in my heart. To be continued. So, if the boat went to a complete stop last night, does that explain how everyone got a headache? Did they bump their heads or something while asleep? That might be it, because everything significant happened the night before. Presumably during everyone's bedtime, right? So if the boat stopped in the middle of the night, you'd hit your head and feel like shit. Initially, I thought like there was some kind of like drugging going on, you know? But this seems to make more sense because so many people were affected by it. Somehow the door to the cabin we were in ended up bolted after we made an emergency stop. Sato-san took a deep breath and gently slid back the bolt. Oh no, are we going to have a dead body? Oh hey.
You, what are you doing in Miss Pavlova's quarters?
Oh, you both look unhurt. Good. Yes, we're fine, thank you. What on earth happened? We heard something about how we were going to collide with another ship. Yes, it appears to have been a false report, though. Oh, how did that happen? There's a dense fog outside, so it's extremely difficult to see. Someone must have thought he saw a ship ahead. The person obviously triggered the alarm, and that's why we made an emergency stop.
Everything is chaos. Passengers are screaming. Crew are running everywhere.
This first-class area is the only quiet part of the ship at the moment. Oh, I see. Someone triggered the alarm. What does that mean? Someone pressed that button outside? Ah! You wicked intruder! Dressed in all black, you are the devil. Sorry, me? I've been called a lot of things before, but devil is a first. You opened my traveling case. How could you? What? No, we didn't touch it. I mean, we did put it back up on the chair. That's right, Miss Pavlova. It was already open when we came into your cabin. Inspector! Yes? Arrest this man. I know he did it. He's a criminal. Is it not enough that he has killed a man?
Nah. And he is stowaway as well. Vixen promises not to steal chicken, do you believe? Ugh.
Take him away. He's a trespasser as well as everything else. Why the sudden turnaround on me? You seem to be at least somewhat friendly to me last time.
Stowing away, trespassing, killing. She's right. You are a devil.
Doesn't look good, does it?
There is a cell below deck. Throw him in. Tomorrow we dock in Hong Kong. Then we give you straight to police.
Wait, a cell? Please, Inspector Hosonaga, is there nothing you can do? This is a Russian vessel. I really have no jurisdiction here. After my last effort to appeal to the captain's good nature, I think I'm out of options. This is terrible. This is a real crisis. I've got to find a solution. Immediately. What the fuck am I gonna do? What do I have? Maybe I can interrogate you about the log? Please, just give me a little more time.
I do nothing for you. Except show you way to ship's prison cell.
Ugh, thanks, but no thanks. But I'm innocent. I didn't kill anyone.
And trespassing. And stowing away.
Well, you know, sometimes life can lead you down some unusual avenues, and, well...
Enough. You are guilty. Ship's cell is only place fit for you.
Come on, there has to be someone, some savior to rescue me from this crisis. Some savior? Herlock Sholm, save me. Miss Pavlova, can I get out? Listen, I'm sorry that we snuck in here without your permission, but get out now. Just needed to investigate in here to help understand what happened to... I don't know how to say that. Ugh, it's no use. She's not gonna listen. I need to find someone who will. Hosonaga, you've got yourself into a difficult situation here. By entering this cabin uninvited, I mean. Sorry, I was just so desperate to find a clue. I'm afraid there's really nothing more I can do to help you. If I push my luck any further, a punch to the face will be the least of my worries. I'm really sorry. I have to take responsibility for giving me the freedom to investigate Miss Pavlova's cabin. Now this has happened, I have to report to the captain at once. I really need some help here. I need a savior to rescue me from this crisis. My hero. What? How the fuck did you get in here? Is this how he's gonna show up every time? This fucking guy. I hate that he's starting to grow on me. What are you doing up there? Mr. Sholmes! Why are you wearing that? Naturally, I was analyzing what a weight of 20,000 rubles feels like on one's head. Steampunk-ass goggles. Have I not told you that as a detective, it is my business to know whether... my business to know what other people do not. This isn't mere tomfoolery, my boy. Oh, no, no. Well, why were you hanging from that hook before then? I will say, you look very bonita. Wearing that tiara. Isn't it obvious to properly assess the weight of 20,000 rubles naturally? I wish to determine if it would bend that conceited-looking hook on the wall, so full of brag and bounce. The tiara plus your full body weight? I never know whether to take this man seriously or not. Ah, you again, the great detective. Ah, Inspector. I confess I've been looking for you. I have something to report to you most urgently. Well, you might try looking for me somewhere other than a hook on the wall next time.
What is the report? Speak.
An urgent report from a great detective can mean but one thing. Yes, the case of the curious murder that took place last night here on this vessel, the steamship Buria, has been solved by me, naturally. What? Really? Yes, I have eliminated all other possibilities. No other explanations exist. Really now? Are you sure, or am I going to have to fix half of it for you again? Oh, hello, Cece. What's up? So, allow me to illuminate all your minds. Dude, Cece? Your art is insane. It's so good. For I'm about to reveal my great detective's greatly admired great deduction to the case.
Ha! You have solved it. Even Hedgehog understands this case. We all knew who was responsible for killing student boy this morning, when we found criminal in wardrobe. It is this stowaway, and he has handcuffs to prove it.
Yes, the handcuffs that you put on me. I didn't do it. Trouble is, there doesn't appear to be anyone else who could have killed the victim. Because, as everyone knows, the cabin door was bolted shut from the inside. That means the culprit must be someone who was inside the cabin. Yes, it's what's called a locked room mystery in detective stories. No, it wasn't locked from the inside. Well, it was, but it was actually locked from the outside. Because you could easily lock the doors by stopping the boat. As we saw earlier. So, the real murderer probably did the deed and then hit the alarm, causing everything to fall over, everyone to bump their heads, and the locks to slip shut.
The locked room, that is point.
The room was locked. Well, I can't deny that. There's no way the bolt could have been drawn across from outside the cabin. But Ryunosuke, I thought you figured it out already. Don't tell me you're the one who hit the alarm. You were all quite mistaken. The cabin next door is not a so-called locked room at all. What? Oh yes, there is another entrance. An entrance used last night by the culprit in order to gain access to the cabin despite the bolted door. What other entrance? We never discovered one. Why, it gapes open-mouthed at you even as we speak. Oh. The ventilator man? That man was so random. The ventilator.
You think this is funny? I cannot even put my arm through that hole.
That's because your arms are as thick as the tree trunks. Don't tell me Pavlova's pet is the culprit. Cosmo can't be killed by an animal like that. No way. You're suggesting that the culprit entered and left the victim's cabin through that tiny opening? It's not possible. Ah, but it is. And last night, the victim even witnessed the intruder in the act of passing through the ventilator. Mr. Sholmes, do you mean... Are you referring to the words Cosmo-sama wrote in his diary? 1:23 a.m. I can hear a faint whistling sound. 1:35 a.m. What looks like some sort of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill. A whistling sound? Precisely, my dear madam. But what does it mean? What is this speckled band? The answer to that particular conundrum is in this very cabin. Oh, he's ready to fight. He's throwing hands. Mr. Sholmes, what are you doing? There's a distinct element of danger. Fear not, I'm ready. What I'm about to expose for you all to see will shock you to your cores. Behold! Yeah! Ah, what the? It is a snake. Allow me to introduce you all to the band, the speckled band. It's more striped to me, not speckled. Snake? Indubitably. Yes, indubitably. It's just chilling on Beef's face. Looks fine. Mr. Sholmes, just one thing. Pray, what troubles you? Well, that snake isn't really speckled, is it? Looks more stripy, wouldn't you say? That's what I'm saying. Yes, you're right. I think in this case you'd have to call it the striped band, wouldn't you? You both see and observe with distinction. However, do you not think that is precisely the trap into which the culprit wishes you to fall? Oh my goodness, really? It's a trap? How exactly? I think perhaps it is time I explain the intricacies of my train of thought. Are you ready, Miss Pavlova? Oh, we're doing this again? Oh, I'm ready. I'm sorry for the young man who died, but that is all. His death is nothing to do with me. The whole thing is nothing to do with me. There are two conclusions I have drawn from the facts. Number one, last night, your friend infiltrated the victim's cabin. And number two, that same friend was responsible for the victim losing his life. Okay, well, because he says it, we know he's absolutely wrong. So, in a sense, you are very useful, Holmes. Sholmes. Still not used to it. She turns white as a bowl of rice again. What do you mean? She's already white as a bowl of rice. How can she be whiter? Sholmes must be right. He's hit the nail on the head. I don't know about that. This young woman's friend killed Mr. Asogi? It looks like he can't speak with that snake coil around his head. New heavy cosmetic dropped for TF2? I would advise as little movement as possible, Seaman. You wouldn't want the fangs of that long friend in your neck. Well, is it a biter or is it a constrictor? So everyone, let us begin. Herlock Sholmes is proud to present his logic and reasoning spectacular. The Great Deduction. The game is afoot. All right. Dude, I love these. Dude, they were cooking when they made this game. They looked at the Mood Matrix shit and I was like, you know what? Maybe this is not it. They threw that all away. Miss Pavlova, moments ago you claimed the following. His death has nothing to do with me. This whole thing has nothing to do with me. Yet you cannot deceive yourself. Yes, when you recall those horrid events, your aching heart smarts with pain. What? She's like, what the fuck are you talking about? And it is that very pain that evidences your inextricable link to the victim's death. So we ask, what was the nature of this intruder that stole into the victim's cabin on that portentous night? Why, naturally, it was the friend with which you boarded this vessel, was it not? Ah, as I suspected. Another telltale glance. Without doubt, your friend is the writhing serpent we see before us. And yet, that fact leaves us in a quandary. Wait a sec. It's not a tan. That's how we got his fucking... like stripes on his face. Look. It's from the snake. It's red from the snake coiling around him. That's crazy. The victim's written observations on the night in question tell of a speckled band, whereas regrettably, this specimen's markings do not fit that description in any way. What explanation can we then give, pray? Oh, what is she hiding? What was this sight that fell upon the victim's eyes last night? No, don't look at me. This has nothing to do with any of this. Oh, but it does. You have the answer to this quandary even now, hidden behind your back. Yes. That which you are trying but failing to conceal can only be the snake's sloughed skin. Eh? Eh? That does look like a speckled band, though. Evidently, after the sudden and horrible crime, this most deadly friend of yours shed its original skin. No? I don't know what you are talking about. Last night, through the ventilator visible in this cabin, your then speckled friend slithered next door. Yes, the snake simply changed its pattern. Using the bell cord on the other side as a bridge, the serpent silently descended onto the victim's quarters. In the dim light, it appeared to the young gentleman who was about to lose his life as a speckled band. So how do you explain the fucking Russian writing on the ground then? In summary, the nature of this friend of yours, which last night infiltrated the scene of the crime, is a rare breed of snake whose markings change each time it sloughs its skin. A snake so dreadful, we can only imagine it would be found in the deepest depths of India. Really? Topic 2, how Mr. Asogi died. Moving on, we come to the heart of the matter, the grim demise of the victim. How did this young man lose his life, and why? according to the data of which I have been apprised, it would appear there was no visible signs of injury. In fact, the circumstances of the victim's death can only be explained by a terrible venom. Eh? Wasn't he like bonked on the neck? Now, if we take that as fact, we can reasonably imagine that there remains evidence to affirm it at the scene of the crime. Oh no, could there be? Yes, an examination of the deceased's body will prove the cause of death conclusively. Eh? The almost but not quite imperceptible puncture wounds left by the venomous fangs will seal the truth. Yes, the vestiges of the snake bite delivered by your terrifying friend. This makes no sense. She's saying that genuinely, like, you're an idiot. There's no point feigning ignorance, Miss Pavlova. After the incident, you endeavored to hide everything, didn't you? But now your involuntary glance betrays the hiding place you chose. That's right, you hid the evidence that links you to the victim's death in that traveling case. It's not right? Why was it moving? When we first met in this cabin, it came to my attention that your case moved periodically. Your serpent assassin was restless inside, no doubt. You don't... It is telling that the victim made note of a low whistling sound that he heard minutes before his end. Can snakes even whistle? That was your signal, was it not? The sound you had used to train your serpent friend. To train? Indeed, you put the serpent through this ventilator and wait. After a period, you summon it back with a whistle. You could know if the animal had done its duty, so you would listen for signs of life next door. If the victim appeared not to have been dispatched, you'd release the snake once more. Do you deny the snake has undergone such training? It's not true. Having slithered through the ventilator down the bell cord, the creature needed only to sink its fangs in once. And its venom would course through the victim's veins, ending his existence forever. Does the snake even have fangs? What is the true nature of the speckled band that took the poor young man's life? There can be no doubt. My logic is infallible, says the man with infallible logic. Thus concludes Herlock Sholmes' great deduction of the speckled band. All right, time to come in and clean up. Miss Pavlova has trained her pet snake as a killing machine. There on the floor, you will observe a saucer of milk. The promise of food is the key to training any creature. Incredible! You solved the mystery. Wait, I believe him? Amazing. Great deduction really lives up to its name. Now I see why Herlock Sholmes has become such a household name. My dear man, it was nothing remarkable. As the Russians say, I could have done it with one left hand. Oh, you don't seem to buy it. Could I venture an opinion, Mr. Sholmes? But of course, what's on your mind? It's just about your deductions before. Some things don't quite make sense to me. I welcome questions as to my method, and will answer both loudly and proudly. Oh, well, good. First of all, snakes are egg-laying creatures, part of the reptile family. Yes, why would it be fed milk? You are well informed, madam. And reptiles, don't drink milk. Ah. It's really only mammals that like to drink milk, you see? So, I'm not sure it would be possible to train a snake using milk as a reward. No matter. No doubt Miss Pavlova used some other treat to encourage her pet to do her bidding. Milk was merely an example. The logic holds. Well, there is something else. Snakes have no ears. Ah. Yes, so I'm not sure it would really be possible to signal to a snake by whistling. Are they deaf? Or do they just have shit hearing? I didn't know that. But madam, what of the tales from Arabia? Have you not heard of the snakes that dance to the sounds of a flute? I think perhaps the performers play the music in time with the snake's natural movements. Oh, I see. No hands, no feet, no ears? These creatures are as inept as to be practically useless. Don't take it out on the snakes, Mr. Sholmes. Yeah, it's the year of the snake. Come on, show a little respect. There's only one other thing. You have more? You know, for Sholmes' biggest fan, she really likes to one-up him. Snakes use the scales on the bellies to propel themselves. So, I'm not really sure that a snake could manage to climb up a flat bell cord like the ones in these cabins. Then it should try harder. Please, don't be angry with me, Mr. Sholmes. The point is, even if the snake had gone through the ventilator to the next door cabin, it couldn't have come back without help. What I'm trying to say is that there are a number of reasons why it's difficult to imagine the snake could have had a part in this. Oh my god, he's so defeated. Oh no, don't cry, Mr. Sholmes. Oh, thanks, Money. I'll drink the water. Wow, everyone just like had a complete 180 on their opinions on him. Trust has fallen. I think we need to step in and help again, Mr. Naruhodo. Oh no, you don't mean... Yes, we need to modify Mr. Sholmes' latest deductions and turn him into the great ones they ought to be. I had a feeling that was coming. Alright, let's give it a try. Just what I was waiting for, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, right. So, cast your eyes down to your wrists again. What? Yeah, I need to do my pointing and head flicking. Done it again. The handcuffs are gone. Where did they go? Fear not. I shall see they're restored after our work is done. I really wish you'd leave them off. They ran out of budget to do a special set of animations with his handcuffs on. I suppose that's why they did all this. Now, everyone, let us begin. Herlock Sholmes is proud to present his Logic and Reasoning Spectacular. Featuring Mr. Naruhodo. It's showtime. Alright. Death has nothing to do with me. This whole thing has nothing to do with me. Yep. Your aching heart. Pause. She does have a pained expression on her face. Yes, that's true. She looks as though Kazuma-sama's death is weighing heavily on her mind. You're not sure Mr. Sholmes has read her quite correctly, is that it? Could there be some other way to interpret her expression, then? Let's take a moment. We look very closely at Miss Pavlova. Oh. Oh. claw scratch. Was there a cat? There's a snake and a cat? Wait, is this... How could a cat be a speckled band? A long cat. Long cat. It's the culprit. Oh, Naruhodo-san, look. That looks like a very painful wound. Looks like a scratch made by some kind of small animal. Fairly recently, too. Well, whatever scratched her doesn't appear to be around here.
Yes!
Yes. Yes. When you recall those horrid events, that claw scratch smarts with pain. Indeed, a simple observation reveals that the wound is fresh. Miss Pavlova, did you in fact receive that scratch sometime last night? Ah. When I think about the young man who died next door, I feel so sad. When I am sad, the pain from this wound is worse. Is your pet actually a cat? And it is that very pain that evidences your inextricable link to the victim's death. What was the nature of this intruder that stole into the victim's cabin on that pretentious night? It was the friend with which he boarded this vessel, was it not? Yes. Without a doubt, your friend is the writhing serpent we see before us. Ah, so... Your friend is not the snake, but instead, what I guess a cat? It's made by this friend of hers, doesn't it? Except, snakes don't have claws, do they? No, they don't. They don't even have hands or feet, which claws might grow. Well then, if that snake isn't her pet, what is? What's the true identity of this friend of hers? We should follow her gaze, Naruhodo-san. That's where we find the answer. Her gaze. Is there a picture? It is a kitty. Look at that. Little picture on her table. Oh, look at the photograph in this frame. Oh, it's so cute. It's not speckled at all, though. This must be something Miss Pavlova brought with her when she ran away. She's exceptionally beautiful, isn't she? Yes, that's true, but personally, it's a little black creature she's holding that's caught my eye. We better take a closer look at this. The creature. Look at the little cat Miss Pavlova's cuddling here. Oh, what a cute little kitten. It could vie with you, couldn't it, Naruhodo-san? The blackest outfit. A black kitten. From the look of this picture, at least, Miss Pavlova seems very attached to it.
Yes!
Without doubt, your friend is the little kitten we see before us. Yes, the scratch on the back of your hand makes that abundantly clear. Oh no. The whereabouts of this black kitten isn't clear, but what is clear is that you brought the animal with you when you ran away, didn't you? Ah! Darko's my best friend. I couldn't leave her behind. Darko would appear to be a Russian blue. And yet, that fact leaves us in a quandary. The victims have written observations on the night in question tell of a speckled band. Whereas, regrettably, the specimen's markings do not fit that description in any way. What explanation can we then give, pray? Oh, she's hiding it. Why would you take it out of your pocket? You never knew it was there if you didn't take it out. Yep. That. What is that? So, was that, like, attached to the skin? No, that's not what I'm saying. Was that attached to the cat? Did you see that? She just took something out of her pocket and hid it behind her back. She just left it in her pocket. No one would ever have known. Oh yes, ploys like that are Mr. Sholmes' specialty. Except so cleverly forced her to reveal something. Thought deduction was his specialty. Maybe making me believe that was a ploy too. Anyway, I find it hard to believe that's the skin of a snake. In which case, just what is Miss Pavlova hiding behind her back? What is she actually trying to hide? Let me just walk around you real quick. What is that? Cat toy? Well, it is speckled, and it is a band, but what is it? It seems to be soft and fluffy. A long piece of cloth of some sort. Next, it looks like a handle on one end. It is a cat toy. Hey Sandy, how you doing? Good to see you again. This sort is common in the West, apparently. How's that a toy for cats? Cats like to chase the band around and paw at it. Kittens in particular love that sort of play. You only need to wave it in front of them, and they pounce to catch it. And that sounds positively adorable. All right.
Yes!
Yes. Yes, the thing you are trying but failing to conceal is, a cat's toy. Precisely, and the true nature of the now infamous speckled band. And it was this toy that you dangled through the ventilator. Through the ventilator? That's fucking long. Or maybe the walls are just thin, and you waved it around, I presume. Naturally, the victim could not fail to notice it. Oh, you're trying to lure the cat back into your room. But why? For what reason? My dear boy, there can only be one answer to that. Yes, the cat is the murderer. You can't believe you missed Sherlock Sholmes' thing? It was certainly something. He tried so hard. He did all that just to be completely wrong. Love that for him. After her feline friend disappeared through the ventilator into the neighboring cabin, Miss Pavlova attempted to use the speckled cat's toy to incite the creature to return. Ah. In summary, the nature of this friend of Miss Pavlova's, which last night infiltrated the scene of the crime, is a blithesome Russian blue breed of cat by the name of Darka. Yeah. Emotional damage. Truly troublesome feline young Darka is proving to be. She must be caged once found. You will forgive us for borrowing the photograph of your pet, Miss Pavlova. The tiara she would wear on stage can also be seen. It was after I gave her food last night. That's when it happened. She scratched the back of my hand and then ran up the bell cord. Before I could do anything, she had disappeared through the ventilator. Darka, she is so naughty. A beloved kitten. Solved. Oh yeah, there's a whole ass topic. completely different one. Moving on, we have come to the heart of the matter, the grim demise of the victim. How did this young man lose his life? Oh, you missed Herlock Sholmes giving a completely wrong deduction. And Susato and I are over here like, all right, I guess we'll fix it for you. We'll save your face for now. No visible signs of injury, correct? Venom, wrong. Dude. Yeah, Susato's her mental is shattered. Never meet your heroes, they say. She used to be such a big fan. What Mr. Sholmes says is true. There were no signs of a wound anywhere on Kazuma-sama's body. That's right. Sasato's like, wait a second. I'm better at this than he is. What does that make him? Mr. Sholmes seems to be unaware of one very important detail. Kazuma wasn't poisoned. Yes, it wouldn't seem so. Holy shit, are we really gonna pull a... There's an updated autopsy report on this guy? Mr. Sholmes, we have a new autopsy report. Where is it? Sorry, post-mortem report. No traces of poison.
Yes!
Dude, Rinosuke snap? He's loving this. In fact, the circumstances of the victim's death can only be explained by the post-mortem report. Oh yes, I knew it was one or the other. Yeah, sure, buddy. His neck was... Indeed, that breaking of the cervical vertebrae is fatal. Only that Goliath would be strong enough to survive that. Seaman Stroganoff isn't some kind of immortal freak, you know. The jury is out. Anyway, we have on good authority that the victim's neck was broken. Now, if we take that as fact. Stroganoff is just chilling. We can reasonably imagine that there remains evidence to affirm it at the scene of the crime. Oh no, could there be? All right. Kazuma died because his neck was broken. In other words, he was probably struck by something. Or someone. Yes, that's a distinct possibility. And yet, no weapon has been found, though. Presumably, Darka didn't silently creep up behind Kazuma and deal him a fatal blow. Darka's the true culprit. I suppose it's possible that he had a fall and hit the ground awkwardly. It could have been a terrible act of misfortune that he broke his neck completely by accident. Oh yes, a bad fall could explain it. It's rather hard to believe of Kazuma-sama, though. He wasn't a clumsy man. Well, we need to fix this deduction somehow. Is there anything from the scene that could explain what happened? Is it this?
Yes!
The mark on the floor. Yes, an examination of the mark on the floor will prove the cause of death conclusively. This particular mark, so prominently visible next to the victim's body, is a deposit of shoe polish. Bro got polished to death. Shoe polish? Indeed, positively identified by a little analysis device that I constructed, which I carry now as a matter of course. Beeswax, tallow, and dye were my results. The undeniable ingredients of shoe polish. That's what shoe polish is made out of? I guess old shoe polish. And the color of the polish is a perfect match to the color of Mr. Sogi's laced leather shoes. Looking at this mark, it's not hard to imagine what happened. For some reason, Mr. Sogi must have caught his foot at that point in the floor and tripped. Please, though. And, by dreadful turn of misfortune, caught his neck against some immovable object as he fell to the floor. Don't tell me he died by accident. That would be embarrassing. Suffering a fatal blow to the spine, the victim's vertebrae shattered. In that instant, he lost his life. No! You like that Rinosuke's getting into the roleplay? Me too. He's a theater kid in denial. I don't know. I don't know anything about this. Is that really true, Miss Pavlova? Snap. What about the evidence left at the scene where Mr. Asogi lost his life? Yes, the facts are as clear as day to me. You did all you could to conceal the incriminating evidence. But now your unfaulty glance betrays the hiding place you chose. Yeah, no. So if the cat was not in there, then why did it move? I don't believe it. Kazuma someone merely tripped over and said, and now he's no more? Cannot be true. I refuse to accept it. I know it's hard to believe, but the mark on the floor does seem to suggest that's what happened. But... And if this is part of Sholmes' I cannot talk. And if this part of Mr. Sholmes' deduction is right, Miss Pavlova is trying to hide some evidence that would prove it. Here in this cabin, somewhere in the direction that she just cast her eyes. Where, I wonder? Let's have a good look around. The answer must be somewhere. If only I did my investigation more thoroughly, but I guess Naruhodo is not very, servant. Tiara? Maybe? How would she need to hide the tiara?
Yes!
Nope. Oh. I get to see what happens if I get it wrong. It like clinks off. I lose a life for this too? Oh no. Oh, don't give me that wide-eyed incredulous stare. I know the truth. That 20,000 rubles is enough to make anyone lose their head. What spectacularly contrived logic led you to this mindless conclusion? Oh no, I'm getting roasted. Oh, well, it's supposed to be a logic and reasoning spectacular, so I thought I'd contribute to the show. This is my show, Mr. Naruhodo. Kindly perform any peculiar experiments on your own stage. Ugh, sorry. What do you mean, your show? Mister, I'm doing the shit for you. Gotta be kidding me. Yeah, you try to do your own show, see what happens. Well, oh wait, we already know what happens. The whole room goes quiet. 'Cause you're wrong. All right, fine. We'll look harder. Is it in the trash can? Can we see what's in the trash can? Presumably there's not much rubbish in there yet. Aha! But what's that? Wait, why did I see this last time? I feel like I could have seen this if I investigated the wastebasket last time. I did. It's a broken piece of glass, isn't it? Yes, it is. I feel like I've seen it somewhere before. Why is it here? Looks like I had to present this. That's right. You hid the evidence that links you to the victim's death in that wastepaper basket. Ah! Here we have a fragment of some intricate glass object, it would seem. One that has a familiar air, in fact. Precisely, we found another piece of broken glass on the floor in Mr. Asoki's cabin. And as you can see, the two pieces fit together perfectly. A glass bell? Oh no. So, Miss Pavlova, shall we consider what this tells us? Wait, is it the bell of a cat? It could be. It's a very small bell, though. Why would you put a glass bell in your cat? I feel like that's one of the worst materials you could ever make it of. How would it be that part of this glass object, which was evidently broken at the scene of the victim's death, should be found in the wastepaper basket in your cabin? Yeah! You're well acquainted with this glass bell, are you not? I don't know, and that hushed Russian accent of yours won't save you this time, dear girl. Why? Because we have conclusive evidence linking you to the bell in question. What? Take it away, Mr. Naruhodo. Yeah, it's my show now. Bastard. The evidence linking Miss Pavlova and the little glass bell, that would be... Not this. The picture.
Yes!
If you look at this photograph, you can clearly see, hanging from darkest color, a very glass bell in question. Truth is caught up with you, Miss Pavlova. The young man who lost his life last night did so after a truly inauspicious fall. Well, that's anticlimactic. Because of that fateful stumble? Your absent feline friend, Darka. Dude, there's no way Kazuma died by a kitten. I couldn't tell anyone. I'm sorry. Death by tripping over a cat. That's so sad. And hilarious. I feel like that can't be it, though, right? We still have a trial to do, don't we? Why don't you tell us now, Miss Pavlova? Tell us exactly what happened last night. It was a little after 1 in the morning. It was so late, but I hadn't had time to feed Darka, so I gave her some food. And then, all of a sudden, she scratched me and jumped out of my hands. People do say that cats become very anxious and nervous in new environments. She was so fast, she disappeared through the ventilator before I could stop her. And that's how you acquired the rather nasty wound on the back of your hand, I take it. Yes. And I had read the, rules on the wall. I knew that I was not allowed Darka with me. Yes, modern science suggests that animals can carry infectious diseases. It's a precaution, really. You forgot Hosonaga is here? Well, he's here, and he's beat up. Poor guy. Is he going to be like that for the whole episode? Who knows? So he listened and listened, trying to hear if there was some noise in the next cabin. It was very quiet. I was sure if someone was there, it must be sleeping. So, at that point, you thought it safe to try to lure the kitten back again. By dangling the toy through the ventilator into the adjoining cabin. Darka always loves his toy, but it didn't work. Nothing worked. I tried using her favorite toy. I tried whistling to her softly, but nothing. She didn't return. So the faint whistling sound Cosmo wrote about in his diary was Pavlova trying to retrieve her pet. Cats have a propensity to remain hidden in the shadows when frightened. Yes, so there was nothing else I could do. I just had to wait until she had calmed down. But then... Oh. Uh-oh. I nearly passed out with shock. I heard her cry out, and then... Oh, it was such a dreadful bang. Afterwards, nothing. It was totally silent. Cosmo was... From the appearance of the brown mark on the floor, it seems likely that what you had heard was the victim stepping on the glass bell and tripping up. The SS Buria is a large vessel, but even she can pitch and roll violently without warning. Mr. Sogi was already off balance as a result of the ship lurching when the kitten got under his feet. The combination of unfortunate factors could easily have caused him to fall over. But that doesn't explain how the message was written on the floor. Cat can't do that. But what became of the kitten afterwards? In the end, I managed to get her to come back through the ventilator. Yet Darka is nowhere to be seen. I must have gone to lock my case, and now she's disappeared again. Gracious. That cat is as insufferably restless as I am. Well, he knows something about himself, at least. When I woke this morning, I heard that a young man in the cabin next to mine had died, but I couldn't bring myself to tell anyone what had happened. I was too scared. Scared that they would send me back. Oh, hold on a minute. What about the snake? You're right. Where is it? The snake isn't your friend, Miss Pavlova. Then whose is it? And where did it come from? He's patting it. Oh, it's his. Look at his smile. That's the only thing that'll make him happy. What on earth is such a dangerous creature doing on board the ship?
Oh, I didn't say. Snake is my friend. His name is Pirushko.
Oh, what? What? Yep, definitely explains how he has those marks on his face. That snake belongs to you?
He escaped from cage when emergency alarm sounded. I was looking for him. I did not expect to find him in here.
Yes, how did that snake get into this cabin? But animals are not permitted on board.
We are at sea for 1 year. You want to be so long without a close friend? Without someone who understands?
Couldn't you find someone a little more human who understands you better? But my dear belly fellow, can't you envenom a snake? Surely you can appreciate the danger you're putting everyone in.
No venom. Pirushko does not have venom. He is harmless, very long but very gentle. He is adorable, like Granny.
It's venomless.
Yes, now he is hungry, so he's in bad mood. But once I feed him, you will see big smile.
And you feed them what? Milk, I suppose?
Ah, like they say they milk chickens? Ridiculous. Snakes that drink milk are only in stupid stories. Birusko eats mouses. Big, fat, round mouses.
So, is that what the mousetrap in the passageway out there is for?
Of course. How else can I catch my friend's favorite food?
Nothing says top of the food chain like the look in their eyes right now. So he is a constrictor. Holmes is so defeated. I pity you, I really do. Honestly. He puts in so much effort. It's pity in like a look how pathetic this man is kind of way, you know?
He refuses to drink milk. He can't hear a whistle. He can't climb up a bell cord. And it's not even venomous. What deuce did something so inept in a starring role?
It fucking fell over.
It is not my fault. I do not make up stories.
He tries. He tries so hard, he gets so far, but in the end, it doesn't really matter.
My Birushko has nothing to do with this incident.
Dude, the animations in this game are really like, they were really a step up from the last one. So that's what happened. That's the truth behind my best friend's tragic death. I don't know about that. Miss Pavlova, I understand the difficult situation you found yourself in, and I do sympathize. But please remember this. A young man lost his life. If you're going to attempt to cover up your guilt with lies, then no matter what the circumstances, I cannot forgive you. But... Oh no, the girls are fighting. What do you want about, Miss Mikotaba? What lies? Miss Pavlova just confessed everything. It was just a series of unfortunate events, an accident. I'm no great detective like Mr. Sholmes. Great detective, yeah, right. I don't have a gift for knowing the truth. But even I can see that was not the truth. Don't you agree, Mr. Naruto? To be perfectly honest, yes. There's a discrepancy in Miss Pavlova's story, I'm sure of it. Just can't quite put my finger on it. So I don't see a motive for killing... for killing Kazuma. I confess, I was intending to let Scotland Yard deal with any outstanding issues on this matter. Oh. I'm only present here for a very specific reason. The truth is, you, Mr. Naruhodo, are simply a distraction. Really? After all we've been through, after all I've done for you, you call me a distraction? That's it. It's over. It's over between us. Distraction? I do hope you've not been finding your shackles too uncomfortable. Oh, and they're back on. Not again. When did you do that? Especially as they're on your wrists as a result of my intervention. I was rather hoping I could resolve matters before we made our next port call. You were, Mr. Sholmes? Yes, but I overlooked one important detail. Or detail. The deceased young man was a very close companion of yours, was he not? Yes. Kazuma was my closest friend. I ruled my freedom, even. In that case, we must follow this to its conclusion.
No further distractions. You must uncover the real truth here, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, whatever that may be. Key to this is the discrepancy in Miss Pavlova's story, I'm sure. The discrepancy. I didn't even pick that up yet. If I could chase that down, maybe the truth would become clear. Cosmo. Dude, even the back of his uniform has that star pattern. Okay, that design goes kind of hard. The truth about how you really died. About how that scene in your cabin really came to be. All right, I'll see what I can do. Excellent. Thank you, Mr. Naruhodo. So then, shall we begin? Yes. We should ponder first. Is the victim who lost his life in a cabin that was bolted shut from the inside? Was this truly an unfortunate accident? Or was it in fact no accident at all? That is what we must establish in the first instance. We've already established it. Oh no, Hasanaga. We've already established it, haven't we? The man tripped over the kitten that had climbed into his cabin via the ventilator. Tragic, yes, but still an accident.
Hold it!
Wait, let's just take a step back. Doesn't make sense if that's really what happened, does it? I'm going to have to ask you to spell it out for me, I'm afraid. Yes, it's starting to take shape now. There's a clear contradiction between the facts and Ms. Pavlova's story here. The evidence is right there in Cosmo's cabin. It's undeniable. His death couldn't possibly have been a mere accident. Really? Let us show our hand, Mr. Naruhodo. Time to present the evidence. It's the message, right? It has to be this.
Yes!
Truth is clearly recorded in this photographic print. There's no way that Mr. Asogi could have left this message on the floor. That script, it's Russian, isn't it? Indeed it is. The word written means wardrobe. I see what you mean. Most people would leave a dying message in their native language, Japanese in this case. But maybe he was studying Russian. It is a simple language. He could have picked it up very fast. That doesn't seem likely. That's actually not the point. It makes no difference whether he knew Russian or not. Sorry, what do you mean? Exactly what I said before. There is no way that Mr. Asogi could have left this message on the floor. The reason why is clearly explained here. Damage to the cervical vertebrae resulting in instant death. Instant death. Ah. Which means, after the victim fell to the floor, he couldn't possibly have written anything. Because he was already dead. Omae wa mou shinderu. Instant death. You got one shot. That's not the only reason either. There's something else we found in Mr. Asogi's cabin. A remnant of something that couldn't possibly have been there, if what Miss Pavlova told us was true. What? So Sasada-san has noticed it too then. Wait, something that couldn't possibly have been there? I'm lost on that part. Another piece of evidence that proves this was no mere accident.
What? Is it this? Something else. No, it has to be from the cabin, right? Because that's what they were talking about. Huh. Is there anything on the back of this? Not so sure. They would force you to wash dishes in the galley until you were on death's door or something like that. Wash dishes until I was on death's door? That's a lot of dishes. Something else? That couldn't have been there. Putting the message on the floor aside, there's something else that gives the truth away. Is it this? Again? I mean, this is the only other thing we found in the cabin that we have currently.
Yes!
This piece of broken glass next to the mark on the floor. Right. So, if you had half of the glass on this side, how did the other half of the bell end up on the other side of the room, or in the other room next door? I see. That's the glass bell the kitten had around its neck. We already knew all about that. It was broken in half when the victim tripped over the cat and fell. You have a very satisfactory explanation. Where's the flaw in that logic? Fortunately, there is a very big flaw. Fatal flaw. What? That's really what happened. Then how did one half of the bell end up back here in this cabin? Ah. Yes, remember that we found the other half of the glass bell in that waste paper basket. Would you care to explain that, Miss Pavlova? Oh no. Both these pieces of evidence clearly point to the same conclusion. That when Mr. Asogi died last night in this cabin, there was someone else in the room. And that same person deliberately arranged the scene to disguise the truth in order to cover up his or own guilt. Yeah. Yes, there was someone else present in Mr. Asogi's... What? You are wasting time. Who's that? Wait. You're telling me fucking Beef Stroganoff gets his own hold it voice line? They had room in the budget for that?
Someone else was there? Ah, of course. We know this.
What are you talking about?
Bulkheads was bolted shut from inside. There was no way in or out.
Oh, yes.
And any other person in cabin when the young student died was you.
Yes!
Only other person.
It's true, I was in the cabin when it happened. You were shut inside the cabin wardrobe, to be precise about the details. But I don't know Russian. There's no way I could have left this message. Not would have. There's no way you could have left that message, to be precise about the details. Would you mind? Forgive me, my dear fellow. Dude, this fucking guy is trying to one-up me after I... He's trying to actually me after I actually'd him on his deduction spectacular. I want to strangle him. He's so silly. He can't handle his own silliness. He cannot contain the silliness. As I was saying, person in question wrote the word wardrobe in Russian on the floor in an attempt to incriminate me for the crime, even though I had been asleep in there the entire time. So whoever did that knew I was in the wardrobe. And then the same person picked up the broken glass bell that had fallen to the floor for fear of becoming evidence that would show how Mr. Sogi really died. Oh, that was Sasada saying it. But why wouldn't this person have taken all the pieces of the bell away? Leaving half behind was always going to raise questions. Yes, well, it was past 1 o'clock in early hours of the morning. The cabin would have been quite dark. A single small lamp suspended from the ceiling would barely have cast any light on the floor there. Little wonder, then, that the culprit failed to notice a fragment of the tiny item. You all suspect me, don't you? Seaman Stroganoff. Oh.
Nina is woman of sea. She is daughter of strong sailor. 2 years ago, they noticed her dancing skills and went away to join ballet company. But before, she was dancer on this ship, a member of ship's band.
They were dad?
Do not accuse ship's angel of being criminal.
Ah, so that's it.
You say that when young student died, Nina was there in his cabin. But that is not possible. I give my tooth.
Well, this is all most interesting. And why would you give your tooth, pray? How can you be so sure?
You are a great detective, you should know. Look through the eyes. Cabin bulkhead was bolted shut from inside. Nobody could go to cabin. Not Nina, not anyone. Or do you want to tell me that killer can walk through locked doors? Yet, it's impossible.
He's right. But wait, I've read about this in detective stories. People often tie thread around door latches so they can open and close them from the outside.
Thread? Are you stupid?
Are you stupid?
These bulkheads are not barn doors.
Certainly not. These are watertight doors, as one would expect to find on any modern steamship. Constructed of heavy steel with not a gap in sight. No threads or needles or magnets could have been used. No, of course not. I thought so too. But Mr. Naruhodo suggested it earlier, so she's really pushing the blame on me? Sara-san, how can you shift it onto me like that? So, Seaman Stroganoff is a valid point. The cabin door couldn't have been bolted shut from the outside. Not necessarily.
What?
I put it to you that I could bolt this cabin door without laying a finger on it. Dude, Ryunosuke is just being a punching bag. Poor guy. And in this very cabin, we can see the traces of the method I have in mind having been used before. You don't believe it? Well, Mr. Naruhodo? I believe you know what I mean, don't you? A way to shut the bolt of the cabin door from the outside. One way does spring to mind, yes. Do you really know what Mr. Sholmes means, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes, so should you. She calls me Mr. Naruhodo and not Naruhodo-san, even though we're both Japanese. Because we've seen it happen. Indeed, we have. So, would you care to do the honors, Mr. Naruhodo? The telling signs of the method was used to slide the cabin door. Yep. It is the shelf.
Yes!
Look at the bookcase there. See how the books and things are on it have toppled over? That must have happened when the ship made its emergency stop before. Yes, that's right. It's a very powerful vessel after all. When the engines are thrown into reverse, a violent jolt goes across the entire ship. Any small objects that aren't fastened down are bound to fall over. I believe... Yes, that's what's known as the force of inertia acting on the objects. Is there nothing Susanoo-san doesn't know? Or that isn't in her book at least? Well, whatever it's called, the same force that pushed over those books in the bookcase. Susanoo's got a huge brain. Also made something else in this cabin move. The bolt on the cabin door. Ah! It's very obvious just after the emergency stop that the ship made earlier. We had come into this cabin not long before and we hadn't bolted the door. But then... Hello, is anybody in there? Shout if you need assistance. Oh. Excuse me. Inspector Hosonaga. Oh, yes. That's it. The ship stopped suddenly. The bolt flew across and locked the door. Yes, it's made of metal, but it's small and light enough to be moved by the ship's such a sudden change of speed. Or the force of ineptia, if you want to call it that. Are you trying to say that last night, after Mr. Usogi was killed? Yes, sir. Yes, has Buriya made another emergency stop? When I woke up this morning and looked around the cabin, I thought it looked a little odd. All the books on the shelves had toppled over, and all the ornaments. It's almost as if someone had run their hand across the shelves and deliberately knocked everything over. That also explains the chicken bone on the floor, right? Oh yes, I remember that. And I stood them all up again, didn't I? Then when we came into this cabin, we were surprised to see the same thing in here. All the books and everything had toppled over. Just like in Mr. Usogi's cabin. Oh my! Do you have anything to say about this, Miss Pavlova? Are you out of your mind? You say Buriya made an emergency stop. It does seem a little far-fetched. How could that possibly have happened? Unless you're saying that the culprit is actually someone from the engine room. Oh, it is simple enough. Are you forgetting the button in the passageway outside? Used to trigger the emergency alarm. Oh, yes, of course. There was a notice, wasn't there? Telling you only to press the button in times of emergency. That button. On dark nights when the fog is dense, the captain cannot afford to rely on the eyes of his lookout alone. Hence the placement of a number of buttons around the vessel to allow any crewman to raise the alarm. Sort of button. One is almost compelled to press it to satisfy one's curiosity. Oh? Wait, it was you? I knew it was him. I knew it. Oh, let me clear my nose real quick. Am I sick still? I'm not sick per se. No, I'm not sick. It's just that every time like it gets late, I don't know, I always just get stuffy for some reason. Also, I guess part of it comes from like talking a lot. I don't know. I'm not exactly sure what the cause of it is. It could be like a dust allergy or something. I think that's what my doctor told me last time I asked her about it. Anyway, I'm fine. When the button is pressed, two things happen in the interest of safety. The emergency alarm bell rings and the vessel comes to a complete stop. As indeed it did a little earlier today. Mr. Sholmes, surely it wasn't you who... As I always say, a button has but one purpose in life. To be pressed, whatever the occasion. This man acts on every intrusive thought he has, I'm sure of it. He sounds almost proud of himself. How dare you mess with ship? I report you to Captain. You are in much trouble now. Yeah, very real, Sholmes. Now, I'm sure that all can wait until later. Let us not overlook the fact that we have now learned a valuable lesson. When the vessel makes an emergency stop, the bolts on the cabin door slide closed. So, what we must now consider... Yes, it all comes down to one thing now. Last night, after what had happened to Mr. Asoki, did the ship make an emergency stop, or did it not?
You are idiots. Buria is a huge ship with many passengers. If we make emergency stop even in the middle of night, there will be chaos everywhere.
What are your thoughts, Mr. Naruhodo? Well, it's certainly possible that some kind of emergency happened last night. Oh, maybe the mass drugging was a real thing. Maybe I wasn't, like, tripping, you know? Maybe I was cooking. You have evidence to support that idea. Really? What evidence, Mr. Naruhodo? Fascinating. Do show us, my good man. Some emergency gripped this vessel last night. Yes, it is the log.
Yes!
Yes. Seaman Stroganoff. It's your duty to patrol the first-class area of the ship, isn't that right?
Ah, that is correct. Why?
In the ship's log here, this would be where you record the details of your duties.
What are you doing with that? That is mine.
Ah, you rather carelessly left it atop the little makeshift bureau in the passageway out there. But as responsible passengers, we took it into our care with a mind to return it to you later.
I left it there on purpose. That is where I put it always.
The point is, looking at what you usually record, it's clear that under normal circumstances, you write the phrase "nothing to report" every 30 minutes. But from 2 o'clock last night until first light this morning, nothing was recorded at all. Nothing recorded in the log?
That is... because nothing happened.
Ooh, what was that glance to the corner? But if nothing happened, you would normally write "nothing to report," wouldn't you? Indeed so, which tells us that shortly after 2 a.m., something happened here aboard the SS Buria. Something sufficiently significant to make you forget to fill in the ship's log, in fact. Are you suggesting the ship really did make an emergency stop in the middle of the night?
Stop talking rubbish. Stop talking Russian.
Perfectly honest, I find that a little hard to believe myself. Oh, why? Well, because if something as major as an emergency stop really had happened, surely all of us would have noticed. That's very true. Thanks to the emergency stop we experienced earlier, we all know what it feels like now. The ship lurched so violently, and the alarm bell was so loud. Can't imagine that anybody would sleep through that, even if it happened in the dead of night. Well, no, that's a good point. Put the drugs in the chicken. What of the throbbing? The throbbing? What are you throbbing over? Who's throbbing over here? I am. Sorry, what do you mean? Your head, man. The throbbing of your head since this morning. We've all suffered with it. Oh, yes, I've had a headache, you're right. In fact, I haven't been feeling myself since I woke up today. No, have I? My head has been feeling heavy ever since dawn. Yes, you've all been afflicted, haven't you? Just as I suspected. He's right, my head's been throbbing today too. Everyone's throbbing. Welcome to the Throbbers Club. Since eating dinner yesterday evening, everything felt sort of hazy. Holy shit, they did drug the chicken. Can't really remember anything that happened after I climbed back inside the wardrobe. The first thing I noticed this morning was throbbing pain in my head. All shall throb. All shall throb. Cece, you've committed the sin of a minor spelling mistake. Your sentence is death. Obliteration. I've already been dragged out of the wardrobe. And had those handcuffs put on me by that point. Ooh. Why didn't I wake up when all that was happening to me? Tell me, Mr. Naruhodo, you boarded this vessel as a stowaway, didn't you? Oh, well, yes. Sorry. Stowaway class of accommodation doesn't usually include meals. What did you survive on? Ah, well, Cosmo looked after me. He was always happy to share his meals. So you enjoyed some of the whole roast chicken dish that was served yesterday evening, I take it? Yes, in fact. I had all of that. Cosmo wasn't fond of chicken. How could you not be fond of chicken? Oh, really? So the victim didn't eat any of the chicken at all? That's right, he didn't touch it. Is that relevant? Right, so Cosmo wasn't drugged. My dear fellow, does that not strike you? So, the culprit, one, knew that Cosmo didn't like chicken. Or maybe they did. They didn't know. And they tried to get everyone asleep so that they could kill Cosmo in his sleep. But Cosmo is like, ew, chicken. Here, you can have this, Naruhodo. And then he was chilling last night. He wasn't forcibly put to sleep. And so when the culprit came in to kill him, there was a struggle. But that doesn't make sense because Cosmo was killed instantly. He was like, ew, chicken. Yeah, that's how it went. Word for word. Man. Very suspicious. So, I suppose my suspicions are cast on the people who either serve or cook the meals. Mr. Sholmes, do you mean to say that there was something wrong with the chicken?
I do. No. Really? Is that really true? The meal prepared for the passengers last night had been tampered with. Tampered with by the addition of a soporific designed to induce a very deep slumber in those who consumed it.
Chicken that makes you sleep?
A sleeping drug?
Do you mean
whoever did this laced every meal with a sleeping drug so no one would notice the ship's emergency stop?
Mr. Naruhodo, of course that's not what Mr. Sholmes means. What a far-fetched idea.
Precisely. Lacing every meal of every passenger on board with a soporific drug would certainly be impossible. Unless, that is, every single member of the crew was a conspirator.
Mr. Sholmes!
Well, Seaman? You're all in on it. I'm sorry to say that any more deception in this matter will get you nowhere. If you refuse to talk, there would have to be an inquiry made through the shipping company, of course. And were that to happen, every member of the crew and the captain himself would be hauled over the coals for aiding and abetting a renegade. Oh, look at you. Don't you look guilty?
Sholmes is actually correct for once?
Yeah, with my help.
Please, no more. I would tell everything. I cannot make problems like this for everyone anymore.
These crewmen are your former comrades, I believe. Former comrades?
Yes, so when I decided to run away, I asked them to help me.
Yes, comrades on the ship. Right, she was part of a band. We all agreed to help, everyone together. She threw away everything. Her fame in the ballet, Mother Russia. We wanted to help our angel.
I don't believe it.
You were right. We put sleeping drug in chicken last night.
Yes, I remember now. I did notice chewing on a lump of something strange and bitter at one point.
We could not make all drug. How do you say dissolve?
Ugh, talk about heavy seasoning.
At midnight in waters near Shanghai, we brought our angel on board. She was helped by comrades on shore with a small fishing boat.
Well, all the passengers of the SS Burio slept soundly. Okay, so this explains how she got on board, but this doesn't explain the murder. Thanks to the almost magical effects of the slumber-inducing potion their evening meals had contained. So that's what happened. The only people awake on the ship last night were the crew, people who dislike chicken, and the newly boarded passenger, Miss Pavlova. That narrows down our suspect list by quite a lot. And that means it would have been possible for you. You could have used the emergency stop to trick to lock Kazuma's cabin door. But how does that make sense? Surely every cabin door would have ended up locked in that case. There would have been complete chaos.
Oh, I wouldn't say so.
What? Ah, of course. Just like us, all the other passengers would have eaten their evening meal of chicken in their cabins. After which they would have been overwhelmed by tiredness because of the sleeping drug.
Quite, and accordingly,
all passengers were already in their cabins for the night. Yes. The overwhelming majority of passengers would have habitually sleep with their cabin doors bolted anyway. So not one of them would have found it remarkable to find the door locked in the morning. In summary, in order to fasten the bolts of a single cabin door on the ship, The culprit brought the entire vessel to an emergency stop in the early hours of the morning. You have talked a long time and said many things. What is point? The point is what I said earlier. There was somebody else present on the scene when the victim lost his life last night. Someone who left a message in Russian on the floor in an attempt to incriminate another. Someone who tried desperately to hide the broken fragments of glass who would reveal the culprit's identity. And someone who abused the ship's emergency stop procedure in order to lock a door. All told, a busy night. But... I don't know about any of this. I'm just a little girl. You like to speak with your long English words and explain your clever ideas. Don't tell me Pavlova is some kind of Russian assassin, on top of being a ballerina. But I am sailor, and sailors don't listen long, boring stories. We don't believe. Sailors like me, we trust only what we see with our eyes. A laudable trait. What? I'm quite of the same disposition, my good man. Observation to me is everything. Mr. Naruhodo? Oh, yes? Do you hear it? Accusatory cry of guilt on the wind. What accusatory cry of guilt? Sorry, you've lost me. Proof of involvement, ma'am. But you can't hear such a call with your ears. No, you must hear it with your eyes. Observation is the basis of all deduction. What are you talking about? I believe the time has come for one final logic and reasoning spectacular to expose the truth. So, Mr. Naruhodo, your assistance, if you please. With what exactly, Mr. Sholmes? With observation, my dear fellow. Just as I said, of these two prevaricators. Wait a second. If we're trying to prove guilt right away, here, right now, is there no trial? Is this just the episode? We're just doing investigations? Observation? Wait, if so, that's kind of sick. A no trial, purely investigation episode. If you remember, Mr. Naruhodo, we know that somebody tried to fabricate evidence, don't we? Tampering with the scene of Mr. Asogi's death. What we're looking for is some trace of evidence that one of these two was there when it happened. We're still in the middle of the sea. Yeah, that's right. For a second, I thought we'd be like Mr. Worldwide and stop in Shanghai or Hong Kong or wherever they said they'd stop and do a trial there. You know? I mean, the logic follows, right? Every single Ace Attorney episode in the series has been investigation, trial, or sometimes just trial. Trial, investigation, and then ends at a trial again, you know? I mean, yes, it makes sense we're investigating now, but like, usually in Ace Attorney, you investigate a little bit, and then the game's like, oh, time's up, time to go to trial, and then you prove the culprit who's truly guilty. But to me, I don't know, it seems like we're doing this right now, right here and now. Precisely, you are dutifully quick to grasp my meaning. Alright, I'll see what I can see. So we're looking for a trace of evidence that shows someone else was there last night when Cosma died. What suggests that someone else was there at the scene? I can look around, huh? What? Oh. Oh ho ho. Dude, circling around them is just funny. Chunky arms? Look at those chunky arms. Wait, what happens if I click that? He has arms like tree trunks, doesn't he? Hairy tree trunks. Yes, he certainly has sailor's arms. He's a born man of the sea. Even if I had been awake, I couldn't have done anything about being dragged out of that wardrobe by this man. Naruhodo-san? Are you alright? You seem to be lost in thought. Oh, sorry. Blame those hairy tree trunks. I'd like to imagine Naruhodo just like circling around them. Like on his tippy toes, like squatting down on the ground or something. Trying to look up. They're like, what the fuck is he doing? Anyway. Left ear. Why is left ear a specific thing? What happens if I inspect your left ear? She has such petite ears among that beautiful hair. Like little pink shells. Oh, what's that? There's something dangling down from her ear. It is indeed an earring. Ah, that's an earring. The crescent moon part looks as though it's made from wood. It's charming, isn't it? Women do seem to love adornments like that. In their hair, around their necks, on their fingers, even hanging from their ears, it seems. Well, jewelry is beautiful, Naruhodo-san. Right ear. Alright, well, let's just get to the point. Ink stain. Oh, look at this. Oh, it's Naruhodo, not Susato. It's some kind of stain in an unusual place. Yes, you're right. It looks like ink, if I'm not mistaken. Ink. Look at the color, too. It's clear where this came from.
Yes!
Shutter. Seaman Stroganoff, you seem to have quite a large purple stain on the back of your white uniform there. Yes, I don't know where the dirt comes from. So, nothing in particular comes to mind about the stain. What are you trying to say? It would appear that the significance of the stain has escaped your attention, Seaman. Allow us to make it plain. It's a very large purple stain on the back of Seaman Stroganoff's uniform. I think what made it is clear. Indeed it is. So, Mr. Naruhodo, present the evidence that proves it. My pleasure. Alright then, the evidence that proves what that stain on the back of Seaman Stroganoff's uniform really is. Do we have anything else? No. Probably this, right?
Yes!
Yes, it's this photograph. And the ink it shows, that's what caused the stain in your uniform. Ink. A rather unusual color of ink. Purple. Ah, the penny drops. At last. Now you see the significance. The Russian word on the floor next to the victim's body was written in purple ink. And the stain on the back of your uniform? Oh, it's Ryunosuke. The stain on the back of your uniform is ink of exactly the same color. If the ink had been dry, it couldn't possibly have stained your uniform in that way. Which means you must have been present in the cabin in the moments immediately after the ink was spilt. Alright, yes. It was me. I did it. Everything. Really? You killed him?
Oh, you're not saying you killed him. You're saying you set up the scene. I arranged everything in that student's cabin to make it look like Wardlow Man did it. Then I press button to make Buria do emergency stop, and both cabin doors shut. I did everything so no one suspect our angel.
Beef, please.
Don't worry, Angel. Let me do talking. It was after 1 in the morning. I was on duty patrolling passageway. Then our angel came to me. She was white like sheet.
Beef, please. You must help me.
I went with her. The door to cabin number 1 was open. Then I looked inside. I saw a student boy on floor. What happened here?
I did an oopsie. Please don't tell anyone. My little one. My little furry friend.
Everything that happened in cabin is like Angel told you. The kitten escaped through the ventilator into Mr. Sogi's cabin. And he tripped over it and broke his neck when he fell to the floor? I refuse to believe Cosmo died that way. There's no way. I need a villain. No. You can't die a sad death like that. Even Mia died a better death. Yes, that is right. Bro's clumsy? What happened to him studying the blade every day? So, after the incident when the cat ran away, Miss Pavlova then visited the cabin next to hers, only to find its occupant lying lifeless on the floor. She said she was worried when she heard of something falling on the floor. That's when she went to look. No, Angel? The door was not locked. So she opened to look and you already know what happened after.
There's just one thing. You wouldn't mind?
What?
When you went to Mr. Asogi's cabin, Miss Pavlova, was he already dead? Why?
I already told you. When Nina opened the door of student's cabin and looked inside.
I was asking Miss Pavlova. Well, Miss Pavlova?
Da.
Oh. Yes, that is right. I saw him. It was dark and he was wearing black, but he was on the floor, not moving. I was scared. I understand, and I believe you.
So, is that finally it now? There's no way. There needs to be another twist. Have we discovered the real truth about Cosmo's death at last? Okay. By the way they're saying it, there's no way this is the real truth. Ah, something very nearly slipped my mind. Oh, Mr. Sholmes? This photograph. Yes, I took this myself, you know. The cause of death was broken neck. Therefore, the victim died instantly. And the unfortunate incident that precipitated these events, a kitten, on which the victim stumbled. However, if those are the facts, there's one particular area in this photograph. If he died right, why is he face forward? That seems to be somewhat unnatural. What do you mean unnatural? What are your thoughts on the matter, Mr. Naruhodo? Oh, well, if Cosmo tripped and fell, and by some terrible stroke of bad luck broke his neck, which part of this photographic print seems unnatural?
His neck? Right? Because if he broke his neck, wouldn't he be on his back or something?
Yes!
Must be here, surely. Never mind. Allow me to offer you a piece of advice regarding the pursuit of detection, my dear fellow. When noting a crucial point, it can be helpful to keep your eyes open. They were open. And it can be equally helpful to use them. Ugh. I don't think you have any right to roast me, Sholmes. The word written in foreign language underneath his fingertip, surely. That particularly crass detail was orchestrated by the culprit. No, I mean to identify another point. Imagine, if you will, losing a footing yourself. Oh, they're just solving it for me. Would you land as the victim has? What of your hands? You look like the sort of fellow who stumbles with some regularity. This should be an easy task. Why do I? Oh, never mind. They're not doing it for me. Hands? Do I literally point out his hands? Why are they in fists? Is that it? That is pretty unnatural, now that I think about it. You wouldn't really die with, like, your hand in a fist like that if you fell. Dude, who's gripping that tight, you know? 24/7.
Yes!
Alright, if he really fell due to an unfortunate accident, then this fist just doesn't seem quite right. This mystery just goes deeper and deeper. The same thought occurred to me. In a fall, one's instinct is to open the palms flat. Yet here we see the victim with his left hand tightly balled into a fist. Almost, you might say, as though he were gripping something. Oh, what do you mean? Simply that I took the liberty of investigating the victim's fist a short while ago. You did? And what, pray, do you imagine I found there, my dear fellow? Mr. Sholmes, show us, please. Why, of course, my dear madam. Why would I keep you in suspense? This is what I found. Oh. Oh. Ooh. Ooh, Pavlova. It's not looking good for you, girl. Holy shit, are you actually a Russian assassin? Moonlighting as a ballerina? This pretty innocent looking 15-year-old girl? Oh, a crescent moon with a little gemstone in the middle. Yes, you're right, crescent moon. It's very pretty, but what does it tell us? Tells us nothing. I'm not so sure. That crescent moon looks familiar somehow. I'm sure I've seen it somewhere before. Yes, we have. Observation, Mr. Naruhodo. That is the key. What? Now I know why they let me inspect the ears earlier. I was like, that's very random. Like, why would I look at her ears? The truth is now tantalizingly close. How did that crescent moon come to be in Cosmo's clenched fist? This is the final clue, the last piece of the puzzle. Ask yourself, what does this little crescent moon mean? What significance has it? It's a sign of a struggle. And observe, find the answer with your own eyes. Sorry, Pavlova. I'm sure you're very sweet, but you probably killed my best friend.
Yes!
Miss Pavlova, on your ear there. I see you have a crescent moon as well. What? Wait, what? And on your other ear, there seems to be a crescent moon missing. Dude, the camera work in this game is crazy. Compared to all the other Ace Attorneys, it's just the camera's going everywhere. I love it. Now, the missing crescent moon was found in the victim's clenched fist. Clearly, there's only one logical conclusion. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes. Miss Pavlova, Mr. Asogi must have grasped that crescent moon and pulled it from your ear, perhaps just moments before he fell to the floor. In other words, last night, in Mr. Asogi's cabin, you witnessed the moment when the victim fell with your own eyes. In fact, you were quite literally at arm's length from him. Okay. Are they trying to, like, bait me away from thinking that Pavlova's the killer? Like, because what they're saying right now is suggesting that there was a third party in the cabin who killed Kazuma, and Pavlova just so happened to be there when it happened. Why did he pull your earring from your ear and hold it in his clenched fist during his final moments? Oh no. Angel. You're an angel of death. No one can protect you now. Please, Miss Pavlova, tell us the truth. Last night, what did you do to Kazuma? Holy shit, fucking mind shattered. Psychic blast. When I think about everything that happened yesterday, it was too much. Running away, a fishing boat in the middle of the night, trying to climb onto this huge ship. And then, when I was at last in this cabin, I could relax after this horrible, long day. Darka, wait! I couldn't believe it when she disappeared through the ventilator. I tried to call her with a little whistle. I tried waving her favorite toy, but nothing worked. Darka would not come back. What are you doing here at this time of night, Inspector? Inspector? Oh. I'm sorry. Kazuma. I thought it was a friend of mine. He was alive and well? Interesting. A young man from your country. He was very polite and kind. He helped me to find Darka, and he promised not to tell anyone. But then, when I had my friend in my arms again, and I was going to leave the man's cabin. Just a moment. Sorry, but... Wait. She didn't kill him? It was a third party. I don't even know what to think anymore. Oh, yes? I'm sure I know your face. I've seen you somewhere before. Of course. You're Nikolina Pavlova, aren't you? The Russian ballerina. Huh? No, I don't know that name. My heart nearly stopped when you said that. Oh. I guess it was her? He knew who I was. How could this man from a land in the faraway east know a Russian ballerina? Yes, I saw your performance in Japan. The beauty of the ballet made a deep impression on me. But what are you doing on the ship? I'm sure I read that your ballet company was performing in Shanghai at the moment. I can't fool him. I have to tell the truth and hope he doesn't tell anyone. I have no other choice. I see. So you've run away. Please, please keep my secret. Don't tell anyone. Give me a moment. I could use another opinion here. He's going to pull the cord. He's going to tell the captain. Why did I think I could trust him? And it happened. Everything at once. It was only a second, but it felt like forever. No. She did it? Wait! I shouted, and then Baruka jumped out of my arms and down they got to the young man's feet. And as he turned around to look at me, I pushed him. I don't even know why. I don't know why I did it. I was just so scared. And it really was a misunderstanding. No. Who do I take my anger out on? There is no villain here. There's no satisfaction in this. Stop him from telling anyone about me. You're kidding me. And that's when you went to fetch help? From Seaman Stroganoff, who was duty out in the passageway? I heard Nina cry out and thought on floor, so I ran to her. She was standing at cabin door, shaking like a leaf. She looked at me and said, "Help me, Beef. If they find out, I will be... Please, I have nowhere to go." So you decided to help. And that's when you arranged things in Cosmo's cabin to make it look like I did it. So that no one would suspect the passenger in the cabin next door. Yes. I went into cabin and I looked around to make sure there was nothing to show Nina was there. And then I found Stowaway, in wardrobe, still sleeping. Right, that's when he found me. So you worked out a plan to lay the blame on the Stowaway. I closed wardrobe doors and put back strange paper sign. Luckily for me, that's the only reason Sasara-san started to believe me when I said I was innocent. I dragged my young man's body to a good place and used ink that was spilling to write on floor. I wrote, wardrobe, so that person who found him would look inside wardrobe and find Stowaway. And tell me, what of the glass bell? It was by my feet, so I picked it up. I see. But it was dark in the cabin. I didn't notice the other half. Then Angel went back to her cabin and I finished job. By pressing the emergency alarm button in the passageway. Yes. Accordingly, the SS Buria did indeed come to an emergency halt at a little after 2 a.m., thus enticing the bolt on the cabin door to slide shut, creating the locked room mystery. There's still one thing I don't understand, Miss Pavlova. What? Well, you said you told Cosmo about the fact that you'd run away from your homeland. And it's because you were worried that he was going to tell the captain that you pushed him. Isn't that right? Yes. But even if he had called the bell cord and called for the captain of the ship, aren't you friends with every member of the crew? Why would that have been a problem? It was what he said first that made me scared. what he said first. What are you doing here at this time of night, Inspector? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was a friend of mine. He said an inspector was his friend. Oh, yes, meaning me. He was supposed to be acting as his bodyguard. I thought that if police knew about me, they would arrest me. So before he could pull the bell cord, Man, this sucks. This fucking sucks. Why'd Bestie have to die like this? It just doesn't seem to make sense. I mean, was Mr. Asogi really going to pull the bell cord? I don't know. What? What do you think, Mr. Naruhodo? Don't tell me there's more. There's more to this mystery? Well, I'm not Cosmo, so I can't know for certain. Oh, okay, I see what they're getting at. They want me to reveal that he was gonna talk to me. I'm his second opinion. Because I'm his bestie. I'm his partner. And you took him from me. He was a man of his word. If he told you he would give your secret, if he told you he would give your secret away, then he wouldn't have done. No, he was walking over to it. He was going to pull the cord. He was going to make them send me back. Well, Mr. Naruhodo, the day's work is not yet done, it seems. There is one more deduction to make. What? Another deduction? Michael, what? Are you kidding me? I'm done with your shit, Sholmes. Yes, what action was the victim really about to take at that moment? Can we determine whether the young man's gaze was directed? Cosmo. Ah, his music. First, consider the victim's location within his cabin. That's easy. I remember every detail of that room. I mean, yes, I spent quite a lot of time in the wardrobe, but still. Dude, this OST is... It hurts. Cabin has been my home for this entire voyage. So this is how the cabin looked last night when Miss Pavlova visited Cosmo-sama. Wait, how are you saying this? Am I doing some kind of like mind projection thing? What is this? Yes, it's exactly how it was. Are you ready then, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes, if there's one thing I've learned today, it's that a simple gaze can reveal all manner of truths. Not only that, in order to draw the right conclusion, you can't afford to be out by even a little bit when you're following the gaze to where it lands. So, when he turned away from Miss Pavlova, what exactly was Cosmo looking at? Me, the wardrobe.
Take that!
Take that! Considering everything that had happened last night, certainly it may have looked as though Cosmo was going to ring the bell cord. Yes, however... What is directly beside the bell cord? The wardrobe. The wardrobe? And more importantly, what was inside the wardrobe? The man's great friend, sleeping soundly. Ah! Miss Pavlova, please, think back very carefully. What were Mr. Asogi's exact words last night? Give me a moment, I could use another opinion here. Another opinion? Yes, but not from a member of the crew. No, Mr. Sogi intended to consult his close friend on the matter. To see if, between them, they might be able to help in some way, no doubt. Oh no. Sadly, we can't know the truth for certain now. It's too late for that. But I wish you had made sure of what Mr. Sogi was looking at. Things may have ended very differently if you had. Miss Pavlova, I want to thank you for finally admitting the truth. But, unfortunately, the truth is, a man lost his life because of what you did, and that will never change. I hope you'll never forget that. I'm sorry. Really, I'm so sorry. What have I done? Man. The music's still going? Fuck. And so, at long last... Dude, Ryunosuke is really keeping it in, huh? So is Susato. Susato basically had a crush on the guy, too. I guess it's easier to stay calm if the culprit is not a guy like fucking Red White from that one Ace Attorney 1 case. The mystery surrounding the tragic accident on the SS Buria was finally laid to rest. No trial. What will happen to Miss Pavlova now then? Once we reach Great Britain, she'll be handed over to the British police at Scotland Yard. What about the fact that she ran away from Russia? Will the Russians try to repatriate her? Apparently, the English detective can speak to the immigration office and sort all that out. Mr. Sholmes can do that? So she won't be going back to Russia then? No, I don't think so. Even if she wanted to return in the future, I doubt she would be able to. She ran away, so now she's in exile for life. I see. I'm sorry. Seaman Stroganoff. I wanted to help our angel, no matter what. But I didn't think about you, about how you lost good friend. I will go with Nina. I will give myself to British police. It's kind of you. In the meantime, thank you for letting me go free again. Cosmo's death feels like such a waste. But it is a waste. Well, do what you can for Miss Pavlova, won't you? Duh. Well, I'm afraid you need to pack now. We're due to arrive in Hong Kong tomorrow. As much as it pains me, I'm going to have to hand you over to the consul to arrange your passage back to Japan. Yes. I did stow away after all. I couldn't really expect any different. So you should get back to your cabin now. Man, Cosmo really died like that. No assassins, no anything. Thought he was going to be targeted or something. He was an important guy after all, wasn't he? But no. It was all because of a fucking misunderstanding. Looks like my study tour to Great Britain is over before it's even begun then. To think that only days ago, Cosima and I were laughing together about how we'd tear up the streets of London. That seems like a distant memory now. Oh, what's that? Is it someone weeping? Oh, Susato. Susato-san? Naruhodo-san, I didn't know you had returned. Oh, well, I haven't been back long. Inspector Hosonaga just told me I should pack. You know, ready to leave the ship tomorrow and all that. Oh. No, don't cry. I still can't believe this happened. I can't believe someone's life can be over just like that. Susato-san. Life is cruel. Oh. I hope I gave her a hug. He had such grand ideas for this visit to Great Britain. So many dreams. And now they've been cruelly taken away. Just as he has. I thought I could never forgive the person responsible. But now we know the truth. That it was just an accident. Just a silly series of mishaps. It's too much, Naruhodo-san. It's just too much. Yes, I know. I wish there was something I could say. Oh, look, his bruises are gone, and his glasses are fixed. Inspector. My duty was to see Asogi-san safely to Great Britain, but I failed, and caused his two closest friends great pain and suffering as a result. Let everyone down. And I will do anything to make up for my terrible blunder. Nobody blames you, Inspector. And I'm free again now, at least. Huh? Who let you in here? Who the fuck let you in here? You're ruining our, like, you know, our grieving. Surprise, Mr. Naruhodo? Yeah, no shit I am. You know, the friends from Japan, you know, all chilling, grieving our lost shared friend. And who decides to come in? But this fucking guy. What is the meaning of this? Oh, a trifling matter. Simply that in my head, I think I shall always picture you wearing those shackles. Without them, the balance seems all wrong. It's distracting. Sorry. So I decided to restore them. For old time's sake, shall we say. You are a stowaway after all. He thinks this is funny? Mr. Sholmes, we do appreciate all your assistance. I'd like to thank you. From the bottom of my heart.
Not at all, not at all. And though it's a little late, may I offer my sincere condolences. The loss of your companion is truly heartrending. I hope that you'll be able to fulfill some of his aspirations in his honor. I'm afraid that won't be possible. We shall be disembarking at the next port in Hong Kong. We have to return to Japan and make a full report about everything that's happened. What? Wait a minute. It's just me that has to go back, isn't it? I mean, I was the stowaway. Terms of this study tour were negotiated by the Department of Justice in both Great Britain and Japan. It was to be one lawyer and one assistant. Was to be? In the light of Mr. Asogi's unfortunate death, I'm afraid this study tour can no longer go ahead. Wait a second. Well, what about me? I could be the lawyer. Oh no, I don't care for me, but... Poor Susato-san. My dear fellows, the majority of problems have an extremely simple solution, you know? All you require is one lawyer, and the study tour can continue, surely.
There is no one else with the necessary qualifications, Mr. Sholmes. We know of no other lawyer.
Qualifications, you say? Any qualification obtained in your own country will be of little value in Great Britain, I'm afraid.
Oh, but
anyway, the voyage to London still promises a good month of time. Ample opportunity, I would say, to find yourselves another suitable lawyer.
yes.
Mrs. Sato?
Yes?
Do you think perhaps I might be able to do it? You're not a lawyer, Mr. Naruhodo. Oh, unless... Are you studying law? No, I'm not, but... No, I'm sorry. In that case, I don't think there's even a chance it could work. But as I said, there is still more than a month before we reach England's shores. Isn't that right, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes, I have a month in which to study, to learn what I must to become a lawyer in Great Britain.
Mr. Naruhodo,
That's ridiculous. Are you seriously suggesting anybody could learn all that in just 40 days? A month? Yeah, just cram a whole few years of law school in a month. You could do it. There's only one way to find out. I would work my fingers to the bone, Inspector. Every single day. Will you let me try? And if, by the time we reach Great Britain, I haven't learned enough to be recognized as a lawyer, I'll take whatever punishment is deemed appropriate. But why put yourself in such a difficult position? Cosma. He said that there was something he had to do in Great Britain, and that he would sacrifice anything to make it happen. He was passionate about it. I can't let all that passion just come to nothing. And anyway, it's for my own benefit too. I will become a lawyer. I have to. What do you say, Mrs. Sato? Wait. I think it's a wonderful idea. This is the first time she smiled at me. Ever. Thank you. So, what does our bespectacled inspector friend say? That's a mouthful. Try saying that 10 times fast. Bespectacled inspector. Bespectacled. I'm not even. Yeah, never mind. Are you serious? One lawyer and one assistant. The numbers are indisputable. No, no, no. It's madness. Yet fascinating. Wouldn't you agree? Fascinating. Duty and rules are the dull routine of existence that we all abhor. Give us interest, give us fascination. Speak for yourself. Besides, qualifications are no measure of a man. What matters is his character, no? And you've witnessed ample evidence of this man's exemplary character today with your own eyes. From the early hours of this morning until this very moment now. Despite contending with the passing of his close companion, and despite the accusation of guilt, this man has shown resourcefulness, intelligence, and above all, courage. Oh, stop it, Sholmes. You're gonna make me blush. You know, maybe this guy's not so bad after all. You know, he's glazing me like this. I don't mind that. Very well. I'll think of a clever way to word my report to the Department of Justice. Inspector, after all, I did just make a promise, didn't I? I said that I'd do anything at all to make up for my shortcomings here. Oh, thank you, Inspector. If you'll excuse me, I must pay a visit to the captain's quarters, I think. I need to discuss what to do next and how best to make my report.
Are you really prepared to attempt this, Mr. Naruhodo?
Yes, I'm going to try.
I wonder, would you consider teaching me what I need to know? Everything about being a lawyer? Oh, that smile is so cute. It's very Maya. I would be delighted to help you. I am a judicial assistant after all. Just like the Maya we know and love. Thank you. And Mr. Naruhodo, I'd like you to take charge of this. What? Me? Are you sure? Maya mentioned I miss her. I'm sure it's what Kazuma-sama would have wanted. His blade, his soul. Its name is Karuma. It's a great sword. It's been in the Asogi clan for generations. Very well, I accept. I'll treasure it always. So then, Mrs. Sato, seems we'll be working together for some time to come yet. It will be an honor, Mr. Naruhodo. And for the next 40 days, I shan't grant you a single minute of freedom. We shall fill every spare moment with study. Oh, she looks excited. Yes, that's exactly what I need. Ugh. I've had enough single days, every single minute of my days of studying in the real life. But before we begin, I have an earnest favor to ask of you too. Goodness, what is it? Please throw me to the ground. 3 times. What? I should never have doubted you. You were Kazuma-sama's closest friend. Of course you would never have done anything to hurt him. That should have been obvious to me from the start. But I allowed suspicion to get the better of me. No matter how upset I was feeling, it was completely unforgivable behavior. No, you were in shock. You just found out about me stowing away. The cabin door was locked from the inside. No! I won't let you make excuses for me. Naruhodo takedown? This new special move unlocked? I'll be using that one in the courtroom. Whatever the circumstances, I should never have thrown you. And not just once, but 5 times. And that number keeps creeping up, doesn't it? Please, you must. Just take hold of me and throw me. Do it. Don't even think about it. I mean, it doesn't have to be on the floor. There's like a cushioned bed over there. No. I don't even know how. I've never thrown anyone in my life. Very wise, Mr. Naruhodo. It isn't a skill one acquires without considerable training. I forgot you were here. Oh, Mr. Sholmes? I observed your throwing technique several times with great interest. I confess I was most impressed. When did you see that? Yeah, when the fuck did you see that? Were you like peeping in the vents this whole time? I presume that would be a form of Japanese wrestling. Oh, well, in a way. It's not wrestling, but my own interpretation of an ancient jujutsu technique. Apparently it's called the Susato Takedown. Leaves your head swimming, believe me. How beguiling. I'm a practitioner of the combative arts myself. I am a somewhat accomplished boxer. There he goes, dancing around again. Oh my god, he fucking hit her. He's gonna do it again. Yeah. She's just taking it. She doesn't care. Unbothered in her lane. Maybe Susato is just like actually way stronger than him. I mean, we've already seen how much smarter than she is. in this guy. Her stats are OP. Also, I'm pretty sure the real Sherlock Holmes is like a martial artist too. I forgot what he like specializes in or something. Is it like karate? I don't even know. Or was it actually boxing? I think so. I mean, I've read a few Sherlock Holmes stories myself. I wonder if you'd be so kind as to instruct me in the technique of your arresting throw. You know what, let me look it up right now. Sherlock Holmes martial art. Ah, yes. Bartitsu is an eclectic martial art and self-defense method originally developed in England in 1898 to 1902, combining elements of boxing, jiu-jitsu, cane fighting, and French kickboxing. In 1903, it was immortalized as Baritsu by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, author of the Sherlock Holmes mystery stories. Yes, I'd be honored. Then let us not dally. Demonstrate, my dear madam. Oh, of course. Are you ready, Mr. Naruhodo? Wait, me? Hey-ya! As you can see, you throw from the abdomen. Oh yes, arresting indeed. And that is what you term the Susato takedown, is it? Actually, no. That was a Susato squash. Dude, she's unlocking new moves just like that. In my groggy state of consciousness, a scene from an evening recently spent with Cosmo flickered into my mind. Oh no. Karma? That's right. It's a prized sword that's been passed down through generations of the Asogi clan. You've had enough? Clearly not. You're getting more, whether you like it or not. Now weep. I can't believe you managed to get permission to bring it with you. I mean, taking a katana on a study tour is more than a little irregular, surely. A Japanese man's sword is his soul, Ryunosuke. It can't be parted from my katana. Karma guides me. I truly believe that. So its name compels its wielder to slice evil in two? Not that you would need much compelling. On that subject, there's something very important that I have to do in Great Britain, and I'll sacrifice anything to make it happen. I'd appreciate you seeing it through with me. Oh, of course I will. Whatever it is, I'll see it through to the end with you. I knew you wouldn't let me down. That important thing you had to do. I still don't know what that was. Fuck. Why didn't you tell me? You idiot. But I'm going to see the place for myself and work it out. Great Britain's capital, London. Surely he faked his death or something? Yeah, he's definitely coming back at the end. Do you want me to stop adding you when I make a fan art? No, keep on doing it. It's so cool. That's the first, to be honest, that's the first fan art everyone's made of me. It's sick. Both your interpretations are really good. Anyway, episode 2 done. The Adventure of the Runaway Room is next. I guess we'll see the little anime that's at the beginning. Dude, my mind is blown. An Ace Attorney game with episodes that don't have trials? What is this? Actually, should we see the anime thing? I guess we could always just go back and see it. Adventure of the Clouded Kokoro. The Unspeakable Story. There's 5 episodes, huh? You know what? We'll save the opening cutscene for next stream. You're so sad there's no way he's dead? Me too. I have come to accept his death. You know, from the very start, I kind of knew what kind of character he was. He's like that one mentor figure that is meant to die to spur the hero on his adventure, you know? Because in every aspect, Cosmo was superior to Ryunosuke. Like the woman from the first Ace Attorney, right? Yep, exactly that. Exactly that type of a character. Mia. It's Mia Fey. I miss Mia. Come back. She was too hot to die, man. At least she did come back as a ghost, at least. Too hot? She was. I mean, like, whew. She hits all the notes for me. It's too sad. Alright, well, I feel like that's enough for tonight. It's a little past 2 a.m. I need to sleep. It's the OG baddie. For real. You're welcome, CC. Yeah, no problem, Sandy. And thank you all for watching. I'll be back. We'll start the next episode. I have no idea what's in store. Probably a lot of British people. Alrighty. Well, I wish you all a great rest of your night. Oh, we're definitely gonna see more Herlock Sholmes. I feel like this guy is just gonna be there whether I want him to or not. Yeah, well, take care, everyone. Stay safe out there and be well. Bye-bye.